It is Tuesday. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal. Good morning. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me do something here 1 second. Well, let me do that. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if I can do it here. Guess not. Okay. Sometimes the at everyone icon works, sometimes it does not. Today, it does not. So good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? July 9th. It's July already. Wasn't it just, and I say this all the time, wasn't it just May? Oh my gosh, wasn't it just January? Wasn't it just Christmas? It's crazy how quickly everything, like the time just flies. But this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. Today we're going to talk about animal spirit guides and spirits that are around us. So we'll just give you a few minutes to come on. I'll take a drink of my protein drink. And we'll just wait a few minutes. My hair's caught on something here. Good morning. Let's see, can I see comments? Yes, hello, hello. Okay. So, this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal. If this is the first time you've been on, welcome. This is a time every week, once a week, we get together and we talk about meditation, and we talk about grief and death, and we talk about wholeness and alignment and meditation and all these different things that maybe you're not so real comfortable in speaking with anyone else about. These are things that come to me at night that I feel like I need to talk to you about. So this is how Tuesday Talks at 10:30 came about, and welcome. If this is the first time you're on, put a 1. Let me know where you're watching from, and afterwards I'll personally welcome you into connecting. Feel free to share Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. This is a group where it's a safe space. It's a place where you can come and learn and know that you have a tribe. So before I start, I always like to set my intention so you know who I am and what I'm about. My name's Stacy Niedenthal, which we've already established. I'm a child of God, evidential medium, spiritual healer, and I have the ability to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in front of me. I am not the medium that says I see death all around you. My gift, my prayer is that God, Spirit, angels, bringing the most healing, most loving message to help your spirit heal. Most people who come to me are either at a crossroads looking for direction, or they want to connect with someone on the other side. Today is not an angel card reading. It is not a mediumship reading. It's just, time to sit down and chit chat. Get your coffee, get your protein drink, whatever you need, grab it, and let's sit down and talk for a little bit. So before we delve into our subject of spirit animals, I want to talk to you about some events that are coming up, and I have them written down here. So July 18th, which is just in a couple days, I've got a gallery reading here at Hip Gypsy Emporium in Chambersburg. There are seats available. July 29th and 30th, I will be in Bel Air, Maryland for privates and an intimate group reading. August 1st, new venue, Camp Hill, Crystal Cove Collective. August 15th, this is a new event. I am teaming up with a fellow medium to do a Zoom gallery. We don't have the event up yet, but it will be up very soon. So if you are not local to the Chambersburg area, or you're not local to the Bel Air area and you want to sit in on a gallery reading, this is a way that you can do it. August 27th and 28th, I'll be back in Bel Air, Maryland for privates and intimate gallery or intimate group reading. And then August 17th through the 19th. I'm so excited. We're doing a women's Only a Whisper Away retreat in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So if this is something, it's 3 days and 3 nights. You've gotten several emails about it. If you haven't gotten an email about it and you'd be interested in getting on our email list, put your email in the comments and then we'll delete them so that we can get you on the list. If you want some information about it, private message me, or you can look on the wall about the different things about the women's retreat. We're going to do a gallery reading. We're going to talk about past life regressions. We're going to do a full moon release, a drum circle. We're going to talk about energy and how it affects us and different tools that you can use for raising your vibration and your energy that's in there. But there'll be workshops and we're all going to be in one house together. I don't know if you can really see the house very well, but it's less than a mile from Dollywood. So in your downtime, if you want to go and explore Tennessee, you have that option as well. So good morning, everyone. I would love to fill this up. There's still plenty of seats available. It's the first one that I'm doing, so whoever comes, I know that's who needs to be there. But we would love for you to come and connect with us and I don't know, just have a spiritual experience. So that's my commercials. That's my things that I want to talk about. So yesterday I was in my office all day and I had an idea of what I wanted to talk about, and I typed it all up, which I usually handwrite it, but I typed it all up and I thought, this is what I'm going to talk about. Are you alone or are you a loner? And talk about the difference between the two of them. And then after I printed it out and I was reading it, all of a sudden I thought, oh, I should talk about manifesting. We talked about that the other day. We talked about visualization boards. I created my vision board for the retreat. That's what I need to talk about. So I put some things together for that, and I thought, all right, I'm good to go. I've got 2 different subjects I'll talk about. My guides will nudge me in the direction of what I need to talk about. And then when I went to crawl in bed, I'm like, oh, my eye caught this book, Animal Spirit Guides. And all of a sudden I was like, I got that feeling. And when I get that feeling, I know my guides are pushing me that this is the subject that I need to talk about. So we're going to talk about animal spirit guides. We're going to talk about, I did all that without even reading what I have here. So that's what we're going to talk about. If you've ever had a private reading from me, I always connect with you and your name, call in your guides, and I pull a medicine card on you. And guess what a medicine, if you would be familiar with this deck if you've had a reading with me. These are, oh, they're somewhere upside down. These are spirit animal cards. And when I meditate on your name and I pull your guides in and I ask my guides to give me a message for you, I want to be sure that I'm connecting with your energy. So I'll read about the card, or I'll intuitively get the message for the reading. When you come in, I set my intentions and I talk to you about the spirit animal. And the spirit animal is where you are right now, and I ask if it resonates. So that's one way that I use. Here, we'll do this. I just saw Denise hopped on, so we'll put the butterfly up. So if you would get the butterfly, it talks about transitions and different stages that you're in. Okay. Once I do the spirit animals, then I do angel card readings, then I go on to the reading. So I use spirit animals in a couple different ways. Now, some of you may think, it's a little bit too woo for me. I don't know about spirit animals. But I just want you to have an open mind and think about the possibility of the spirit of animals guiding you, connecting you, helping you navigate your personality or what you are drawn to. And when you think about this, I want you to pause for a moment and think, am I drawn to a certain animal? When I was a kid, did I collect animals? Was I drawn to certain things? Kids sometimes are drawn to turtles and frogs, cows, and as you get older, you get drawn to different other animals. But as a child, was there something that you collected or were drawn to that made you feel safe or that your collection was priceless? And anytime you were out in the shop and you saw this particular animal, you were like, oh, I need to add to my collection. I just want you to think for a minute. Why were you drawn to that animal? Was it a spirit animal at that time? Was it a spirit guide? When you get older, when death crosses your path, you're drawn to cardinals and butterflies and dragonflies. And there's the spiritual reason behind that of why you are connected to that. But you're being drawn to this. Whether you have a physical encounter with cardinals going by you or butterflies landing on you, or you just feel drawn to them. Some people are, drawn to flamingos or dragons or, all these different animals that are out there. So I just want you to think about when you feel drawn to these animals, what's going on in your life? Has someone passed? Do you have a new career change? Is there a change in your relationship? Did you get a promotion in a job that now you're going to take a different role? Think about what animal you're drawn to and what happened in your life while this was happening. Some people have certain experiences with crows and eagles. I mean, I've never really been drawn to eagles, but when I see them, I'm like, oh, they just touch my heart. Like it gives me the warm fuzzies all over. We had an eagle in our backyard a couple months ago, and I didn't want to get close because I respected it, but I had to get pictures. So, I got as close as I could and then, blew it up and then, blew that up a little bit more. And I stood in amazement of this eagle with this big, white, beautiful head, the broad shoulders, and it made me feel a certain way. So it may appear in your path saying something to you, and an eagle represents that bird's eye view, taking another look at something. And I have to look back at what was happening at that time, and there were some changes that were going on in my life that, maybe I had narrow vision, and the eagle was saying, stop for a minute and look at it a different way. So there's different symbols, there's different totems, there's different personality traits that these spirit animals represent. And you can Google the spirit animals. There's tons and tons and tons of books on spirit guides and animals and what the differences are. And even if you are not a total believer of it, you have to admit it's pretty dang interesting. I don't use spirit animals as much as I use my angelic guides. But sorry, I wanted to see something. Crap, I just looked. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to look at comments. There we go, got them back. So it's interesting to me, and I've always been fascinated by these types of things. So I'm just sharing my fascination with you. So when you read the book or you Google it, see what intuitively you feel drawn. How does it sit with you? How does it resonate with you? You've heard me say 100 times that you can read 10 books on one subject and you will get 10 different answers. But you take all that information and you say, what sits well in my soul? What can I say, yep, and check that off? That sounds right. And it's that emotional and spiritual and physical aspect of the sighting, the dream, the all of a sudden I want to collect it, that makes it important. So when I question dream sightings and physical sightings, that's when I go to the my deck or different books, and I've got tons of books on spirit animals, but this one, this spirit guide, by Stephen D. Farmer, it's one that jumps out at me most, and I just want to read what the back of the book says in short form about this. So his bio on the back says, Stephen provides concise, relevant details about the significance of more than 200 animals. Now, we all know that there's more than 200 animals, so there's going to be more than 200 books that may come into your physical or symbolic form as guides and teachers. All right? Stephen is a shamanic practitioner, ordained minister, psychotherapist, former college professor with over 30 years experience as a professional healer and teacher. So, sounds like the right guy to read. Sounds like the right person to look at his research findings and see how they resonate with you. Now, like I said, you can read 10 books, get 10 different answers, but this is where your intuition kicks in. This is where mindfulness kicks in. Just because you read it doesn't make it so. How does it sit with you? Is it the opposite of how you feel? So maybe because it's the opposite of how you feel, you need to tweak your feelings a little bit. Maybe there's a growth that needs to happen there. So, like I said, it's all very interesting to me. And I thought I would take this book, and as you can see my little pink sticky notes, I swear I should have stock in sticky notes. And I thought I would read a couple things to you to make you think and ponder about it. And if there are some animals that you want me to, look up in here, I can do that. Just, put it in there and I'll get to as many as possible. But sorry, my chihuahua scratched at my door. So it may tell you about something that's going on around you, or it may tell you about yourself. So I'll look at a few of these and I'll read them, and we'll just kind of go from there. So when I was a kid, and I look back at what I collected, what I was drawn to, I was always drawn to Pegasus and unicorns. And Pegasi, I'm not sure what the plural is not in the book. I don't know if it's because it's a mystical animal, but unicorn is. So I want to look at the unicorn, and that is sticker number 1. So how you look at this, it says if the unicorn shows up, it means. And then it says call on your unicorn when. And then we have if it is your power animal, and your power animal is your personality trait. So I collected unicorns. I was drawn to unicorns. If a unicorn shows up, it is vital that you pursue any creative or artistic interest that you have suppressed until now. You'll notice more signs and visitation from the nature spirit and elemental kingdom, such as fairies and spirit. Let go of worries and responsibilities for a while and play and have fun. What great advice for a kid. Play and have fun. Suspend your disbelief and open yourself to perceiving any and all helping spirits from the non-visible world. You're getting to meet some gifted children who have unusual artistic and creative talents, and you'll learn some important things from being around them. You're going to experience a surge in your personal power, so use it wisely. Now, like I said, I was a kid when this was happening, but I used to have dreams about kids. I used to have, I guess, imaginary friends, that were kids. And I look at this, and when it says, you're going to meet some gifted children who have unusual artistic and creative talents, and you'll learn some important things from being around them. So, when to call on the unicorn? You call on the unicorn when you are feeling when you're feeling a call, to get something artistic going, but you're not sure how to go about it. You're a parent or a caregiver of a child who has extraordinary creative gifts and talents. All three of my kids are artistic, especially if they see, hear, or feel things from the spirit world. Interesting. You've been caught up in all of the responsibilities and intensities of the mundane and material world. You're feeling cynical and disillusioned, and you want to recaptivate the sense of awe and spirit that you've known was there before. If it is your power animal, you're feeling highly artistic and creative, and have expressed yourselves in ways of your story to become of your life force becomes dismissed. You have an innocence and a purity about you, retaining the childlike sense of wonder and awe. You're going to work with children, particularly in a highly sensitive way, with children who have psychic and intuitive abilities. You're attuned to Mother Nature and care deeply and passionately about the environment. You work with the fairy realm and the nature spirits. So when I look at this, when I think back at when I was a kid and the things that were happening to me, and it talks about psychic abilities, and that stuff used to scare the crap out of me, but it was there all along. So I thought that it was interesting, childlike innocence, be playful. It was talking about your life being dismissed, which I feel that has happened to me 100 times. Just happened a couple weeks ago. There's going to be special creative talents, especially seeing, hearing, feeling. So at that point in my life, it's no wonder I was drawn to the unicorn. So when I got older, and those of you who know me best know this, when I got older, I created a huge phobia of bats. And when I think back at when this happened, it was right after I had bought, I guess it was my second house. I was not in a great relationship, and bats kept coming in my house. And I was petrified of them. And, it's that old wives' tale where they're not going to get in your hair. I wasn't concerned about them getting in my hair. They were in my house. I didn't want them in my house. But then it got to the point where even if I saw them outside, I would get goosebumps. I feel nauseous. There was something about the bat that just was a traumatic experience for me. And even when I look at this, now I can look at the picture of the bat and it not bother me. But before, I couldn't. So sometimes fears of certain animals can also be part of your power that needs to be worked on. So let's look at the bat. So let go of those habits and attachments that no longer serve you, and welcome the change that is long overdue. The ordeal that you are facing is a necessary part of your transformation and an initiation into much more spiritual direction in life. It is time for you to confront and conquer your fears. Interesting. Trusting that doing so will bring about a traumatic and beneficial change. Mingle and socialize more with others, perhaps by joining ongoing classes, groups, activities that you think that you will enjoy. When to call on the bat. Okay? You're in a transition where a life that you once lived is dying and a new cycle is emerging. Remember me talking to you about the anxiety and the depression that I went through for so long, where I couldn't make decisions, where I was having flashbacks and PTSD? So this fear was growing, but I needed to let that fear die. You've been isolating yourself for far too long, and you need to connect with others. So when I was going through anxiety, I didn't leave the house. I was afraid to leave the house. I was afraid to stay. If I left the house, I was outside. in my backyard. I didn't venture very far. So I was isolating. You're feeling anxious and fearful without knowing why or what you're afraid of. Bingo. You find yourself having powerful dreams and visions and you don't understand the meaning. Absolutely. You're being drawn to explore shamanic practices. So, when all of this was happening, this was right before my mom passed, that all of this like crept up really strongly. And after she passed, and I went and I saw a medium, and the medium explained what I was going through and said Spirit had a big job for me to do, and I needed to do this inner journeying. And then I opened up and trusted Spirit, and that Spirit had something for me. And then all of a sudden, all of that died and left. So the bad was my fear of not knowing. Cool, huh? If the bat is your power animal, you thrive on being in the company of others and prefer groups of people to being alone. Sometimes. So you don't always agree with everything. You're able to see in others what they keep hidden. And they hear you hear what they don't say. You've earned your gift as a visionary and shaman through a series of difficult initiations and have been a significant part of your soul's path. You are able to look beyond immediate circumstances and perceive limitations to see the bigger picture as well as the possibilities that others overlook. Okay, can you ring a bigger bell for that? Like I said, if you've been with me through some of my crap and why I was so afraid of the bat, now it makes sense. And I have this understanding of the meaning of the fear that I had and the anxiety that I had and the things that I needed to release in order to grow. Trauma, change, leaving things behind. Those things that no longer serve me. Make sense so far? Are you with me? I'm sorry that I'm reading it to you, but I felt it would come across better if I read directly from Stephen's book, that you could, maybe things would resonate with you. And then as I got older, I was attracted to peacocks and flamingos, right? So let's look at the peacock. Okay? And the flamingo came later, so we're going to jump over the flamingo. But the peacock, if peacock shows up, it means you're about to experience a vision that will greatly affect your life and the direction that you are going in. Hello? More than a time to take action. This is a time to be watchful and observing what goes on inside and around you. You are safe and very well protected. So there is no need to worry. It's important that you take a risk and speak your truth rather than holding back. And there will be ample opportunities to do so. I speak my truth just about in every reading, or Tuesday Talks at 10:30. You know, you don't know everything about me, of course, but you know some of the bullshit that I was through in my life, and we all have that bullshit in our life. And I found that when I talk about it, it's no longer that dirty little secret that's kept within me. Make sense so far? Okay, I'm looking. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry. I wish I was more technologically capable. Maybe their little spirit animal will come to me that'll teach me that. So, your dignity and integrity are particularly called for right now to make it a point to walk your talk and hold your head up high. My integrity, loyalty, trust, like they're so important to me, and they get tested. They get tested. But I have to stand in my power and keep my own integrity. When to call on the peacock. You're on the verge of making an important decision, and you want to anticipate as many ramifications as possible before doing it. You're questioning the truth of what someone has told you, and you need help discerning this. Oh boy, this is perfect for today. You're entering new and unfamiliar territory, whether emotionally, geographically, and you need a guardian who will give you more than adequate warnings of any danger. Your self-esteem is rather low, and you want to feel better about yourself. This is an opportunity for you to perform in some kind of show, particularly one that calls you to dress up in colorful costumes. You know me with color. And it's funny, I used to just wear black all the time. You're very showy and flashy, and you love to display yourself in beautiful garb. You're able to access deep inner wisdom, and when asked, readily communicate this knowledge. You carry yourself with a very regal air. I don't know about that. Exuding confidence and warmth. You're incredibly lucky, protected at all times, and always seem to be able to avoid misfortunes. Again, I don't agree with all of it 100%. But I find it interesting how many things that I talked about resonate with me. Is any of this resonating with you all? Are you feeling it? Are you seeing it? Are you hearing it? Are you getting goosebumps? Nobody's going to answer me? Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Cool. I dig it. So, enough about me. Let's look at cardinals. And when I talk about this, there's different stages in our life, in our personality. I'm not the same person I was when I was drawn to unicorns. I still love them. I still have this unicorn necklace that I got in, I don't know, I think it was in Florida when we used to go. I was probably 4th, 5th grade, and I still wear it from time to time. And it's the Pegasus, it's not the unicorn. But we have different stages of our life. So I had my Pegasus unicorn stage. I had my fear of bat stage, and I can pinpoint kind of what was going on in my life when that started happening. And it takes some meditation and some thought process. And I had the peacock stage, and then I had the flamingo stage. And when we lose someone that we love, and we look for signs, what's the most known sign? Cardinals. Dragonflies. Feathers, although feathers aren't animals. So I thought, let's look at cardinals. Oh, I have pelican for some reason. Let's look at cardinals. That would be number 4. And I don't have to go through all these. I just, we'll do the cardinal and maybe one more after that. So if the cardinal shows up, it means someone needs your compassion and your loving attention and has flagged you down to get it. So someone that you love passes. A male cardinal, the red cardinal, flashes in front of you to get your attention. It needs compassionate and loving attention. Stop right where you are. Observe your surroundings. Then notice the sensations in your body. This is a very creative time, one where it is best that you heed your intuitive guidance and how you express your creativity. Add color to your life, in your home, in your environment, in your yard, and in the choices of your clothing. This is a good time for you to make a fresh exploration of the religion that you grew up in, and open your eyes and open your heart. So, my opinion, there's religion and there's faith. So you're going back to your faith, the things that you were originally taught when you were young. And you do a fresh exploration of that. Things I was taught in the church, I don't necessarily agree with now because I see it at a different level. I still believe that Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I'm still a faithful servant. But some of the things that I was taught I now see it in a different way. Let's see. When to call on the cardinal. Your life or the world around you looks rather dreary and you want to add some color. You've moved around a lot or you want to settle down in one place for a stretch of time. You want to improve your diet and be more careful about what you're eating and the kinds of foods that are healthy that your body requires. Mindfulness, body care. You want to learn to listen to your intuition more closely, but you're not sure how to go about that. Everything is intuitively processed. It's your own consciousness. I don't care what you do, how you do it, gut feeling, that's your oxygen. We talked about that the other day. If cardinal is your power animal, one of your primary purposes for being on this planet is to bring color to the world. You much prefer a stable living situation, so you tend to stay in the same place for long periods of time. You have access to a powerful feminine creative energy, and you are able to listen closely to your intuitive guidance. You stand out in the crowd, and when you walk into the room, you brighten it up without even trying. You have a past life connection with the Catholic Church, likely in the upper echelon of the priesthood. Interesting. So that's cardinal. I have dragon, dolphin, and eagle. Let's look at dolphin. Okay, how are you guys hanging with me? Show me some love. Show me some love. Okay. So the dolphin. There's a lot of people that are drawn to dolphins. Dolphins, to me, sound. You hear without hearing. Motion. How do you break through the barriers of things that are in your way? It's that smooth transition from one place to another. So the dolphin says, if the dolphin shows up, take a few minutes today and meditate while playing one of your favorite pieces of music. Sound. Listen more and talk less. Sound. Especially to the more subtle levels of communications from other people from the natural world. There's a natural world, there's the spiritual world. Think and behave more lovingly and positively toward the person that you're having a difficult time with. Smile more to others and notice how they smile back to you. Try dolphin breathing by taking in 3 slow, deep breaths, and each time you exhale with an audible sound. Then observe how you feel. When to call on the dolphin. Things that become routine and monotonous, and you need to breathe some freshness into your life. Eat, sleep, pray. You're having a conflict with someone close to you, and you want to clear things up. You're feeling uptight, and you want to release your tension. There's been a problem or a blockage of communication in a relationship. You're being prompted to move into something deeper, a deeper spiritual work. If the dolphin is your power animal, you are a master at communicator, mainly because you're able to listen at several different levels simultaneously. You know how there's those and I don't want to compare you to a dog, but you know how there's those dog whistles that we don't hear, but you see the dogs go, and they hear them. So when someone's power, when their power animal is the dolphin, they hear different tones and different levels, voice inflections. They hear things that aren't said. Or, so by saying that, what you actually didn't say was this. You're sensitive and keenly aware of other people's feelings, even those that others would prefer to keep hidden. You live very much in the present. You don't think about the past too much. You don't think about the future too much. You're present. You're a guardian of the waters, which means that your soul assignment is to do things that you can protect and clean up the oceans, rivers, lakes, and streams. Because of your compassion and empathy, People seek you out for advice and counsel. You are highly intuitive, psychic, and even telepathic with both people and animals. You rarely take things too seriously, turning everything into a game, sometimes to the point of annoying others. You are flirtatious and playful, but in an innocent way. Were you drawn to dolphins at one point in your life? Does that resonate with you? Can you feel that? So let's go to, we'll do dragon, because some go more the metaphysical. We'll talk about the dragon, and then we'll talk about some other things. So, what was that? That was 5, so this should be 6. So, dragon. If a dragon shows up, it means, and I think this is interesting because on the earthly realm, how many times is a dragon going to show up? But there are bearded dragons, correct? There are, people with t-shirts that have dragons and they bump into you, or somebody gives you a stuffed animal that's a dragon just for no reason. Okay? So, if a dragon shows up, it means that you are emerging into a new phase of your life. One where you'll be able to take more risk and be more vulnerable. Yet, you can be well protected. Do more of the kinds of activities that bring passion into your life. If you have a past life connection to a time when earth-based spiritual practices were predominant, you're entering into a period of considerable prosperity. Spend some time regularly in meditation or contemplation, and you'll receive some of the valuable insights and inspirations. And then when you want to call on your dragon, so what's going on around you that you want to meditate and call the dragon in? You're attracted to the study and the practice of any ancient mystical arts. You've become enmeshed in more mundane aspect of your life, and you're yearning for an adventure. You're faced with a number of obstacles in a project or a business venture. There's a situation that you have to deal with that triggers a lot of fear for you. Yet, you know that you need to confront this and clear it. And just think about, if you have a dragon over your shoulder, that's protection. If I came walking up to you and there was a life-size real dragon behind me, wouldn't you feel like you were protected? Right. So, if the dragon is your power animal, okay, this would be how it sits within you if you feel like this is your personality. You practice earth-based spirituality and mystical art forms from Wiccan, pagan, druidic, and shamanic traditions. You are a contemporary wizard, quite involved spiritually, and you are more mature, the more refined in your wisdom and skills that you have become. You have a commanding presence, and you carry yourself with an air of dignity and regality. You're very open-minded and accepting other spiritual paths and new ideas and possibilities. You have a lot of enthusiasm, vitality, and it is contagious. Interesting. So that's just a few. What did I do? I did 6. Yeah, I did 6. I didn't go on to Eagle because of the time, and I also want to talk about how to call on the guides and what it means to do this. So when you call on the guide, when you feel drawn to this guide, so let's say you feel like you're not being seen in your job, and you feel like your life is a little drab, and you want some excitement. Which animal was that? That was the cardinal. So when you meditate, you visualize in your mind the cardinal. And I was watching a show the other night, and for the life of me I can't think of what it was. But the speaker was talking about vision is not just what you see when your eyes are open. Vision is also what you see when your eyes are closed. So it's visualization. So it is meditating on what your inspiration is, what you want to manifest, and bringing the cardinal in, visualizing a cardinal coming in, maybe sitting on your shoulder or sitting on a park bench with you. And you can start to see maybe as you're doing this, you notice in your eyes everything was black and white until this red cardinal came in, and then all of a sudden the grass turned green and the trees took more life and you could see more color on yourself. It's what advice that you receive, how it makes you feel, what you see happening. Make sense? So there's certain guides to call upon in different situations. So I wrote a couple down. For example, if you're having problems with acceptance, self-acceptance, you're having a struggle with finding out who you are, because maybe you've been told all your life, you need to do this, you need to be that. You know, if you grew up in a household where your parents pushed you all your life to be a doctor because they wanted a doctor in the family, you didn't really want to be a doctor, but you did it because you didn't want to disappoint your family. And although being a doctor is great and wonderful, what you really wanted to be within your spirit was a sign language coordinator. Someone who does sign language while someone's speaking. Maybe you wanted to teach that. Still health related, but it's something that you can grow into. So if acceptance is something that you struggle with, you would look to the duck, the hedgehog, and the moose. And in this book, it tells you, there's a whole list of different things that if you're struggling with it. Now, you don't necessarily want to go to all of the animals and try and do what each one says. But to me, I would see, out of the duck, the hedgehog, and the moose, like hedgehog instantly jumps out at me because they're cute and unusual and, blah, blah, blah. So I would read about the hedgehog and I would see if that set well within me. And maybe it helps me to meditate on the hedgehog and bring the hedgehog in. Okay? Gratitude. The crane, the quail, the swan. And I love that the swan is in there. We've all heard the story of the ugly duckling. We thought it was different from all the ducklings. And then it grew into the swan. But it had lessons that it needed to learn first. Gratitude. Happiness. Hummingbird, lark, robin, unicorn. There's the unicorn. So, happiness. Maybe in my childhood, I was seeking happiness. Or maybe I was a very happy child. But I would go to the hummingbird because the hummingbird is spurts of happiness and joy. If you want family harmony, and I thought this was funny, it's the jellyfish and the stork. Hello, duh. Maybe that's how we got to the point of, the stork brings the babies. Right? Night fears. The bear, the jaguar, the whale, and the wolf. And it's funny, my daughter has had a couple dreams about a bear and a wolf. And we've talked about it extensively, but I have to look at this and see that, because, with night fears, if there's something that she's afraid of, and kind of delve into that. And there's so many more. I mean, like I said, the whole back part of this book, part 2, whom to call on for your specific needs, has all these different guides and all this different information in it. And there's 200 animals that are in here that you can look at and read and go, sounds like me. Doesn't sound like me. Ooh, I was afraid of that. And I think it's interesting to me. I feel like the universe has quite a good sense of humor, because I feel like the bat is at the high point of my totem, because my fear was so strong to let go of things. And once I started letting go of certain things in my life, I started connecting better with myself and consciousness. I worked through some traumas and PTSD. I worked through depression, and I opened up to spirit. And it got me right here in this point in time to talk to you. So intuitively choose the animals that resonate with you. And you can call on them through meditation, through your day. You can buy little trinkets that, that are reminders of them. You can contemplate certain things with them. You can do shamanic journeying, which is a stronger form of meditation. It may point out characteristics that you're very, very strong in, or it may point out characteristics in which you are weak in that you need to work on. You're going to visualize the animal, communicate with the animal, ask it to put you on the right path or to show you the path. And like I said, I spoke too soon where I saw this show that, your vision isn't necessarily what you see when your eyes are open, it's what you see when your eyes are closed. And take note of those things. Journal it. I'm that big journaling person. Journal what the thought process is, and journal without really thinking about it. Let your consciousness, your subconsciousness from the spirit realm talk to the human realm through writing. So that visualization is your intuition. It's knowing that you know. It's that small, quiet voice that's inside of you. And I think learning more about spirit animals, intuition, meditation, alignment, numerology, astrology, the wonders of the world, all of these things, I think it's interesting to learn about them. And even if it's not like, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I think that's the right thing, it's interesting to learn what other people's views are and things that make you go, kind of makes sense, right? So, I personally, I'm a readaholic. I love reading about spirit animals and how they work. I love, because I look at, in spirit medicine and things like that, because I look back at a time before us when the Native Americans were such powerful beings, and they had spirit animals, and they had herbal medicine, and they had all of this stuff, and they lived off of the land. Was it wrong? No. And we're getting back to that. I feel that sense that we're getting back to that. So, when you do, and we've talked about past life regressions, a lot of times spirit animals will come up in past life regressions. Sometimes you'll see something and go, "Ooh, wonder what this is." Gosh, I can't remember what the movie was or what the show was. It was a series, and the guy went gid gid ya. So if you know what that is, but the one man had several sightings of a wolf. Even on Yellowstone, Casey had sightings of the wolves. What do those sightings mean? You had to take that inner journey and find it. So if you feel like you're drawn to something, a particular animal, read about it. See how it sits. Understand it. My fear of bats, I no longer have a fear of bats. A lot of people are afraid of spiders or snakes. Read about them. I know that spiders are cleaning out the web, not jumping into somebody else's web, minding your business, being creative. That's what the spider is. I don't remember what the snake is. The snake has something to do with being grounded because, the belly's on the ground. Okay? So, I've come to respect the bat a little bit more. Still don't want them in my house. But I don't have quite a fear of them because now I see what the spiritual meaning behind my fear of the bat was and how I've grown within it. I was a real scaredy cat when I was a kid. I love scary movies, but then I wasn't going to sleep forever. And now I don't watch scary movies. because I don't need that in my spirit. I need to keep, and nothing against anybody who does, but I need to stay in that positive light. That's my perceptive of it. I found my path. I needed to go through some trauma. Didn't like the trauma. When I didn't understand it, bingo bango, PTSD came in. And then anxiety. And then depression. But now, I get it. Okay? I worked through it. I faced it. I had that dragon. I faced it. But isn't this interesting? I know it might be a little bit of woo for people, but I just think it's so interesting. Signs and symbols, spirit animals, numerology, all these things, like, they interest me. So I want to read about it and see what someone else's opinion is of this. I mean, this man is a PhD. What does it say? Shamanic practitioner, ordained minister, licensed psychotherapist, and former college professor for over 30 years. Or has over 30 years experience as a professional healer and teacher. I think he knows what he's doing. And he probably has several books. Stephen D. Farmer. But I just think it's interesting. It's like, a thesaurus or a dictionary of animals. So, there's totem animals, and you can get as deep into this as you want. So, years ago, I had a different perspective on things. And through those different perspectives, I can pinpoint certain animals that I was drawn to. And when I read about the animals, I'm like, now I understand. But I didn't need to know about those animals when I was going through those situations. Make sense? So, a lot of us have different ways that we grow up with knowledge and beliefs. It's releasing your doubt, allowing the what ifs, and allow the spirit energy to change you, to know that you're not alone. Whether you use angels, archangels, spirit guides, your loved ones who have passed, God, you're not alone. This earthly realm is here for just a short time. And those who are in the spirit realm are looking over you. I sometimes think probably my guides are going, oh God, she's not getting what I'm saying. All right, she's going to stumble. There she stumbled. Oh, now she figured it out. But that's life. That's the experience that we have from life. Don't you feel like there's a greater purpose for all of us? It's not a coincidence that we're on this earth. It's not a coincidence that animals cross our paths. Not everything is a sign, but sometimes it is. So, interesting. So, what animal is in your path right now? Is there an animal in your path? Are you open to doing a little bit of research about the what ifs? Couldn't hurt. Right? So, it is, wow, I did that pretty well. I just looked up, it is 11:30. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I couldn't see all your comments, so I apologize if there was a specific animal that you wanted me to talk about or to read about, but you can get Stephen's book, Animal Spirits. I should have pulled, I have 5 or 6 books on it. I don't have any that are here on my desk right now, but look into it. It might change the way you view the world. You might go, bunch of boo-boo. But who knows? So, my events that are coming up, July 18th, gallery reading here at Hip Gypsy Emporium. Bel Air, Maryland, July 29th and 30th with private readings and intimate group. August 1st, new venue, Crystal Cove Collective in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. August 15th, this is going to be up soon, the Zoom gallery reading with a guest medium with me. August 26th and 27th, my spirit animal, Chihuahua, is scratching at the door. 26th and 27th of August, Bel Air, Maryland, with privates and intimate group. And then October 17th, 18th, and 19th, Women's Retreat in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. All of these things are on my social media as well as on my website. If you have any questions and want to join us, just reach out. All right, guys. This was an interesting topic. I'm glad that I changed my mind from that my mind was changed from the other two topics. We'll talk about them at some other time. But I know that this was something that someone needed to hear. But I honestly just feel like it's interesting. So, there you go. As always, I pray that you all are living the life you love. You're loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And I will talk to you next Tuesday at 10:30. Until then, peace out. I love you. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye.